Dear finance professionals and students, welcome to podcast of FCA Deepak Rao, a practicing chartered accountant. Weekly digest for week 4 of November 2025. Total Energies plans to sell up to a 6% stake in Adani Green Energy. The French energy company holds nearly 19% in the renewable energy firm and is looking to book gains after its $2.5 billion investment in 2021 rose in value to about $8 billion. The proposed stake may be offered to Adani Green for evaluation. Bajaj Electricals is bidding goodbye to Nirlep Cookware division to sharpen its focus on the lucrative consumer electronics market. After a thorough evaluation of its cookware operations, the company is considering various options for Nirlep, including a possible sale. Health insurers are witnessing a significant surge in fraudulent claims, particularly for smaller amounts. This trend is most pronounced in digestive ailments, where oversight is less stringent. Claims between Rs 50,000 and Rs 2.5 lakh present a high risk zone for manipulation. Infectious diseases also show a higher propensity for misuse due to generic symptoms and extensive testing. Rapido and Magic Pin have partnered to take on the dominance of Zomato and Swiggy. Magic Pin will now give access to its nationwide restaurant network in only Rapido's food delivery platform. The partnership will give Rapido, which launched only in August, access to Magic Pin's extensive base of more than 80,000 restaurants across the country, helping the platform scale beyond Bengaluru. In turn, Magic Pin will tap into Rapido's delivery fleet in select locations. Tamil Nadu has signed a strategic memorandum of understanding with ANSR, a global leader in establishing and scaling global capability centers for Fortune 500 companies. Tamil Nadu's move comes at a time when the state has been identified among the country's strongest enterprise ecosystems. Leveraging Tamil Nadu's dedicated GCC policy, unparalleled employability, and fastest growing tech force, the collaboration with ANSR is expected to generate significant investments, advance innovation capabilities, and create more than 10,000 high-value GCC jobs in Tamil Nadu. Space tech startup Agnikul Cosmos has raised $17 million or around Rs 150 crore in a round that saw participation from family offices and marquee institutional investors. The Chennai-based startup is now valued at $500 million. Agnikul had recently announced its large format metal additive manufacturing unit, which will allow it to use 3D printing for multiple subsystems beyond just its engines. The startup is building the world's first single-piece 3D printed rocket engines and end-to-end space transportation solutions. The Securities and Exchange Board of India or SEBI has proposed excluding delisted securities and zero coupon, zero principal bonds from portfolio value calculations for basic services demat accounts. This move aims to ensure fairness and prevent artificial inflation of holdings, as these securities lack realizable market value or investment potential. Suntech Realty, the Mumbai-based property developer, is set to enter the UAE property market with ambitious projects totaling AED 15 billion over 3 years. The company has established Suntech International to manage its expansion, starting with a significant AED 5 billion development in downtown Dubai. This move targets the growing demand from high net worth individuals in the region. The Insolvency and Bankruptcy Board of India or IBBI has notified amendments to the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Board of India Insolvency Professionals Regulations 2016, inserting a new provision, Regulation 7B, immediately after Regulation 7A. An insolvency professional who is not an insolvency professional entity or IPE shall not at any point in time hold more than 10 assignments in aggregate. Within the overall cap, there's a specific limit for high-value cases. Maximum 3 assignments may involve claims exceeding rupees 1,000 crore each. The sharp fall in the rupee is expected to hit companies who have high unhedged exposure to foreign currency debt. However, the good news is that India Inc. seems to have anticipated this and has been consistently reducing its unhedged position. According to data from the Reserve Bank of India, the share of unhedged external commercial borrowing was 26.1% in March 2025, down sharply from 32.9% in September 2024. It hovered around 45% 2 years back. The implementation of the Digital Personal Data Protection or DPDP rules is expected to drive a sharp rise in technology and compliance spending across enterprises, with industry estimates indicating a 10 to 13% increase in IT and tech budgets depending on organizational scale and data maturity. Following the government's notification of the rules, companies have a transition window of about 12 to 18 months to rework their systems to meet new requirements. This includes redesigning consent and notice mechanisms, updating data retention procedures, preparing for mandatory breach reporting, and enabling user rights features. The overhaul is expected to influence legal, operational, and technology functions simultaneously, leading to a broad-based rise in compliance costs. Funding for agri-tech startups has fallen sharply this year, reversing the surge seen during the pandemic years. After touching record highs in 2021 and 2022, capital inflows have slowed by more than 50% in 2025, leading to shutdowns, distressed deals, and a rethink of business models across the sector. Funding has slowed because many agri-tech models still do not demonstrate visibility on sustainable profitability. The funding slowdown has further led to shutdown of companies, creating a domino effect of confidence in the ecosystem. The Union Cabinet has approved a Rs 7,280 crore incentive scheme to boost domestic manufacturing of rare earth magnets and cut India's reliance on imports, especially from China. Valid for 7 years, the scheme aims to create capacity for nearly 6,000 tons of magnets used in EVs, electronics, wind turbines, and defense. French aerospace major Safran is committed to establishing a Rafale engine final assembly line in India if the Indian Air Force places further orders. The company also inaugurated a new maintenance, repair and overhaul or MRO facility for LEAP engines in Hyderabad, signaling a significant increase in its investment and spending in India. India's aircraft MRO market is expected to reach $4 billion by 2031, Civil Aviation Minister K. Rammohan Naidu said at the launch of Safran's upcoming MRO facility. He said domestic MRO work could save $15 billion in foreign exchange, lower airline costs, and benefit passengers. Ola Electric Mobility Limited's blockbuster initial stock offering last year had investors clamoring to buy over 4 times the number of shares publicly available. Now it's struggling to find backers despite a new bet on home battery storage. Beset with shrinking market share, relentless cash burn, and a nearly 52% plunge in share price this year, the SoftBank Group Corp-backed electric scooter maker has been turned down by multiple financiers in recent months. Investors are refusing at joining the company's new 15 billion rupee or $168 million fundraising plan, given the Indian EV maker's deteriorating sales and financial health. Lenders have also shied away from a 17 billion rupee debt raise plan that was approved by the company board in May. Computer and printer maker HP announced Tuesday a sweeping restructuring plan that will eliminate about 10% of its workforce globally as the company pivots towards artificial intelligence to boost efficiency. HP CEO Enrique Lores told the Wall Street Journal that the company plans to raise the prices of its computers and work with new suppliers to help offset the higher costs of AI computing. Digital Connection, a joint venture between Brookfield, Reliance Industries and US-based Digital Reality, on Wednesday said it will invest $11 billion or about Rs 98,000 crore by 2030 to build 1 gigawatt data centers in Andhra Pradesh. The AI native purpose-built data centers will be spread over 400 acres in Visakhapatnam. This is the second major investment in the country, which follows Google's announcement made last month to invest $15 billion in Andhra Pradesh for building an artificial intelligence hub comprising data centers as well in Visakhapatnam. Google's AI Futures Fund and Accel Atoms are launching a program to accelerate AI innovation in India, opening applications for new cohort that will begin in February 2026 and target pre-seed startups working at the earliest stage of product development. The joint Accel Atoms and AI Futures Fund program will give selected founders early use of Google DeepMind models such as Gemini for reasoning tasks, Imagine for image generation, and Veo for video creation. The collaboration is part of a wider effort to strengthen India's engineering and entrepreneurial ecosystem. India's auto and pharma sectors are concerned as Mexico plans to more than double tariffs on countries that it doesn't have FTAs. This move could significantly impact India's $887 million auto exports to Mexico, its third largest destination, and also affect pharmaceutical companies preparing to expand their presence. A receptive regulator is making it easier for business families to house their wealth and assets in private trusts. The Reserve Bank of India is allowing, on a case-by-case basis, transfer of ownership of investment companies which hold shares of family group companies and other portfolio investments to family trusts. With this, the shareholdings and control of these entities shift from senior family members to family trusts. The regulator, however, is insisting that the trustees should be family members instead of professionals. Tesla is building an electric vehicle ecosystem in India to enhance long-term sales. The company plans to establish charging points at homes, malls, and hotels, along with superchargers in major cities. This initiative aims to accelerate EV adoption and improve air quality. Tesla's plan focuses on imported cars and showrooms with no immediate plans for local manufacturing. Nearly 50% of Larsen & Toubro's or L&T's upcoming data center capacity is expected to be consumed by sovereign and highly regulated sectors, including government departments, finance, telecom, and insurance, signaling a sharp rise in demand for secure, compliant, and AI-ready digital infrastructure. L&T has rebranded its data center vertical as L&T Vyoma and plans a tenfold capacity expansion from 30 megawatt to 300 megawatt by 2031. After the ban on real money gaming earlier this year, sports tech company Dream Sports is again venturing into a new area, an open source initiative under a new brand, Horizon. This initiative comes a few months after Dream Sports, the parent company of fantasy sports business Dream11, launched Dream Money, a personal finance app. As part of the offering, the company will open source the tech stack of Dream11 to startups and MSMEs across sectors such as e-commerce, fintech, and health tech, and the global developer community. Eternal, the parent company of food delivery platform Zomato, has infused Rs 600 crore in its quick commerce vertical Blinkit. The cash infusion comes as the platform is looking to expand operations in the competitive quick commerce market. Blinkit has set a target to set up 3,000 dark stores by March 2027. Based on the results for the second quarter of financial year 25-26, its dark store count stood at 1,816. Notably, the recent investment is the third for Blinkit in this calendar year. In January 2025, Eternal invested Rs 500 crore in Blinkit and later bumped up the investment with an additional amount of Rs 1,500 crore a month later in February. Tata Trust will see a return to its former structure with experienced and younger Tata family members joining. This follows recent trustee disagreements and the removal of Vijay Singh. The changes aim to restore balance within the trusts. New members are expected to contribute to the trust's philanthropic work. The situation has stabilized for now. Tata Realty and Infrastructure Limited has secured a significant Rs 1,280 crore green loan from DBS Bank India. This funding is for a sustainable commercial project in Gurugram. DBS Bank India served as the sole advisor and green loan coordinator for this important transaction. The loan will support certified green assets meeting global sustainability benchmarks. Real estate fund manager Mount K Capital is raising over Rs 4,000 crore for its second fund targeting domestic and offshore investors. The partnership-driven platform will invest in residential, mixed-use and redevelopment projects across key Indian markets, focusing on early-stage acquisition and pre-approval stages. This capital raise supports the expansion of its strategy, building on the success of its first fund. The Reserve Bank of India is poised to lower its key interest rate by 25 basis points to 5.25% on December 5th. Economists anticipate this rate will remain steady through 2026. This move is supported by a significant drop in food prices and tax cuts, which have lowered consumer inflation. The currency hit a new low of 89.49 against the dollar on Friday. China's Envision Group is considering a $34 million battery plant in India, aiming for a 5 gigawatt annual capacity to support the country's renewable energy grid upgrades. The company plans to localize rack and software infrastructure while procuring cells from China. Fintech company 197 Communications subsidiary, Paytm Payment Services Limited or PPSL, has finally received the Reserve Bank of India's or RBI's permit to operate as a payment aggregator, the company announced on November 27th, Thursday. The RBI had granted in-principle approval in August and on November 26, 2025, issued the Certificate of Authorization under the Payment and Settlement Systems Act 2007, the company said in a regulatory filing. The regulator has also lifted the November 2022 restrictions that barred PPSL from onboarding new merchants. Adani Group has acquired a 72.8% stake in flight simulation solutions for Rs 820 crore. In an exchange filing, Adani Enterprises disclosed that the transaction was carried out by Adani Defence Systems and Technologies and Horizon Aero Solutions, a subsidiary of the company. Flight Simulation Solutions is India's largest independent provider of flight training and simulation, operating 11 advanced full flight simulators and 17 training aircrafts. The company offered pilot training, commercial pilot licenses, type ratings, recurrent training, and specialized skill courses. The Indian conglomerate led by billionaire Gautam Adani is planning to invest as much as $5 billion in Google's upcoming AI infrastructure hub in southern India, showing the steady stream of investments pouring in the fast-growing data center business. The announcement mirrors the global trend where governments and large corporations are spending trillions in an unprecedented AI hardware arms race. Investments in India's overall data center market are expected to exceed $100 billion by 2027. India has embarked on a robust defense collaboration with the US, securing a Rs 8,000 crore deal for the state-of-the-art MH-60R helicopters. This landmark agreement promises 5 years of maintenance, support and essential upgrades, complemented by the establishment of repair facilities within India. Adani Group on Friday said it is looking at a total debt on its books at rupees 1 lakh crore by 2030 and emphasized that from the risk perspective, it wants to be in a position where its growth plan is not dependent on accessing any capital. Currently, Adani's total debt of rupees 2.6 lakh crore is backed by rupees 90,000 crore in annual operating profit and rupees 60,000 crore in cash. Indian small and mid-sized law firms are merging to gain scale and offer multidisciplinary capabilities driven by client demands and a complex legal market. This consolidation aims to enhance expertise, expand bandwidth, and prepare for potential foreign competition. The growing Indian legal market, projected to reach $3.37 billion by 2030, fuels this trend as firms seek to remain competitive. Grant Thornton India is considering selling a minority stake or merging its operations. The company is in preliminary talks with potential investors. A valuation exceeding $2 billion is sought for the Indian unit. Preliminary discussions are being held with New Mountain Capital, a backer of Grant Thornton in the US, and Cinven, which has invested in the European business. This move aligns with India's ambition to foster accounting and consulting firms that can compete with global leaders. The National Financial Reporting Authority is releasing new toolkits for small and medium accounting firms. These guides focus on fundamental audit aspects. The initiative aims to boost overall audit quality across India. NFRA plans to issue more toolkits covering other key audit areas. This effort supports audit practitioners and enhances sustainable audit practices.
This podcast is sponsored by Sound of CA. We share because we care. Vande Mataram, Jai Hind.